Hey everybody, it's Mr. Forster. I'm back again. So this is the second hardware chapter, chapter 6. So we skipped over chapter 3. Chapter 3 and chapter 13 are going to be piled up together in February, okay, after our next exam week, okay? So remember, 2 chapters on hardware and 2 chapters on software for January to February here. So basically February, yeah, it's chapters 2 and 6. Those are the hardware chapters combined, and chapters 4 and 5. Those are the software chapters. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Cool. So I'm logged into Canvas and I'm into modules. And again, remember, that's going to be my default. You know, right now it says home page or whatever, but maybe I've already changed it, whatever, but I'm going to go to modules because you're going to spend most of your time. The grades tab is not going to be available. Remember, it's only available for 1 week after an exam week for you to kind of just check your progress grade. We're in week 5. So let's go all the way down to week 5 here. Here we go. What are we supposed to do in week 5? Well, number 1, you're watching this video. That was this click here. Okay. Read chapter 6. That's the other hardware chapter. Watch the audio PowerPoints, pick up the overview of the details, work on the chapter 6 study guide, and then flip the coin over, go into my IT lab, and work on the chapter 2 training and assessments that are due by that Saturday night. Okay. So what are the basics for, what is it for chapter 6? Okay. Because when you start looking at your various chapters, I said 2 chapters on hardware and 2 chapters on software. Okay. Let me come over here and bring this over to this side and reshare my screen so you can actually see it. There you go. Here are the learning objectives for what you're learning about in chapter 6. Okay. Changes in CPU performance. Now, some of chapter 6 gets a little geeky, okay? Not to make you engineering students, but you kind of need to understand a little bit about performances, okay? Spend a little bit more time looking at different computer devices, okay? A little bit more detail about the CPU and how it designs its design and operates, okay? Tools for evaluating the performance. Again, if you're a gamer, this is really important chapter for you because this is the geeky stuff that says, ooh, I want that chip. I want that motherboard. I want that system, okay? All right. Again, how is RAM used? Random access memory, and about whether or not adding RAM is really going to be helpful or not. Sometimes we say, well, gosh, we just get a bigger box. Okay, but if you're not really using all the box, are you paying for too much? You know, that kind of stuff, okay? Talk about different types of storage, and this is where we get into the other part of what's in these chapters, which is various storage devices and the needs for a system. What do we need to store? We need to store, you know, the operating system. We need to store the programs like Microsoft Office. We need to store the files that we create in Microsoft Office, be it Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoints, whatever. Okay. We need to store our bootleg movies. No, not bootleg movies. We need to store our bootleg music. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. We store our pictures, our family photos, whatever. Okay. So we're always looking for things that we store. We want to see them in good quality. So we look at video cards. We look at sound cards so we can listen to things, whatever. Okay. And again, we want to make sure that we can optimize our system. And then, by the way, what do you do with your old computer? You're not supposed to throw it in the dumpster, okay? So don't do that. Take it to a recycle center, okay? I mean, if you can find somebody that you can donate it to, fantastic. Maybe your local church or your, or your kid's school could use that computer. You know, it may not meet your needs anymore, but it may be just great for them to use, and maybe they just use it as an internet device. If not, in Fresno, south of town, there's a recycle center for electronics. Sometimes we have recycling day here at the college, or you might be able to take it to a local charity, Goodwill, whatever, that has a recycling location, okay? So, you know, check those places out. Don't just throw your CPU in the dumpster, okay? So let me go ahead and stop the share. Here we go here. And I want to make sure you can still see this part. So, hey, so anyway, so that gives you an idea of what's going on this week. So on that note, have a great one.